I am Barrister Silvia Abanah. I am the chairperson, League of Women Voters of Nigeria, Enugu State Branch. The reason of my being here today is that WOYODEV is organizing a training for political aspirants to move them from foot soldiers to great runners in politics, because we want to see a lot of women in governance. We want to see a lot of women in decision making process, because it's been long women have been marginalized, and the patriarchal nature in our culture has really made women to be relegated to the background. So WOYODEV is doing everything possible, just like League of Women Voters of Nigeria, trying to push women from margin to the mainstream, for their voices to be heard, for their voices to be amplified, for them to be supported, for them to be in governance, for them to be in the democratic process. So we want the men to shift a bit. Let them give us some space so that we can be accommodated, because even recently we had this public hearing for the reservation of seats for women, for them to be accommodated. All those things we've been pushing them for women to be part and parcel of governance, because women have been relegated to the background for a long time. Because even after the Beijing, the 35% affirmative action, we've not been able to get them. Even the quota system, we've not been able to get women to be part of the governance. And we now try to re-strategize by coming up with the reservation, has 74 seats in the parliament, both at the House of Reps and at the House of Senate, and even down to the House of Assembly in every state. And all these things we are struggling for, it's just about 1% of the whole seats. So if women are given opportunity, and because we know that we have the capacity, we have the capability, women are pathfinders, they are great organizers, they are good managers. Even in our homes, we are multitasking. Women can do a lot. And when we talk about women, we are not just talking about ordinary women. We are talking about women who have the capacity, who can represent us very, very well, who have the capability, who are great managers, people like Dora Akunile, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and the rest of them, Obie Ezekwesili. Because I don't think any of these women have ever disgraced us. They've represented us very, very well. So that's the kind of women we are talking about. And with this WOYODEV training, trying to train the aspirants, political aspirants, preparing them, getting them ready for the 2027 election, I believe if we are given the opportunity, a lot of things will change. We'll change the narrative. There will be a paradigm shift. Women will move from margin to mainstream. They will be part and parcel of politics. The issue of just being a woman leader or being a world leader, because even in campaigns, even in votings, women champion everything. They're in the majority. But when it comes to elective position and appointive positions, you see them being appointed or elected as a woman leader or a world leader. All those positions that doesn't really make sense. We need to be part and parcel of governance, so that we'll be part and parcel of the decision making process. We can equally make policies, formulate policies that affects us, because like we normally say, no issue affair. You can't just allow the men to take decisions concerning men. It is the women that suffer. All this maternal morbidity, infant mortality, the women feel the pain. They pass through the process, so they can help form policies that will be in their favor if they are given the opportunity to be part and parcel of this whole process. So that is why we are here today, to encourage women to come out en masse in 2027, and be part of the decision making process. Let them contest, let them vie for different positions, so that they can decide for themselves. Wow, it's awesome. Actually, the women turned out in their numbers, to be part of this training. And from the women's perception, that are really encouraged, that are fully encouraged to be part and parcel of this whole process, because a lot of them have testified that this training is actually a plus on their side, that they've learnt a lot, how to get involved, how to register in parties, how to get close to their stakeholders, how to get down to their communities, how to launch their campaigns, how to do the necessaries, the first things that are supposed to do for them to identify with their communities. You get, because you can't be doing anything without identifying with your grassroots. You have to start from your ward, from your grassroots, and the rest of it. Get close to the stakeholders that will recognize you and appreciate you. And again, you need to have served or be serving in your party, that kind of stuff, because you don't just come from the blues. You get, so you needed to have been part and parcel of this whole process for you to know your left from your right and know where you're going to. For me, women inclusion is going to take a very drastic change. There will be a paradigm shift. There will be increase in women inclusion, because a lot of women are now out, unlike before. Because like in my organization, we've encouraged a lot of women, because we normally go for outreaches to encourage women in different communities, even in churches, because most times the religious bodies believe that women are not supposed to contest. Some women equally believe you're not supposed to be there, just like some men, you're not supposed to be part and parcel of politics. You need to go and manage your home. Like I normally say, we've mastered the other room and the kitchen. We need to master the decision making process. So I believe this time around, with the turnout of women, or the number of women that are interested to contest, that definitely it will be a big plus on our side. And with the reservation of seats, the campaign for her 74 seat in the parliament, whereby it is only women that will contest for particular positions with other women, not with men this time around. For those reservations, her 74 seat in the parliament, both at the House of Senate and the House of Reps, and even down to the House of Assembly, that with that, a lot of women will be included in governance. Oh, for WOYODEV they've actually done noble by organizing a lot of trainings for women, encouraging them, and trying to, the cultural barriers, and trying to, shift away the cultural barriers that relegate women to the background or discourage women from participating in politics. So WOYODEV's action is to accelerate socio-cultural shift from norms that limit participation of women in active politics, to positive democratic values that empower women for active political participation in Nigeria by 2027. It is kudos to WOYODEV. They are really trying.